Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant Bhaja Govindam, shloka number 1 to 5.
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Mudajahi hidanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam. Yallabase nijakarmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Naristanabharanabhidesham drishtva maga mohavesham. Etan savasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tadvajivitam atishaya chapalam. Vidhi vyadhyabhimana grastam lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Yavadvittoparjana saktaha tavan nija parivaro raktaha. Paschat jivati jarjara dehe vartam kopi na pritchati gehe.
Bhaja Govindam. It's a very small text by Adi Shankaracharya. It's a beautiful text. As I said, it's a wake-up call to the humanity. While he was walking on the banks of Ganges, he saw this old man trying to memorize these grammar rules, and then he said, what a waste of time. At this age, we have to understand that this life is extremely uncertain. Once we understand that, we'll become very aware. We'll give so much importance to the time in hand. We will set our priorities right. And when our priorities are set right, we get a clear direction in life. Then we will be able to direct our mind and ego. All the problems, all the samsara that we go through, we create for ourselves is because we take time for granted. He didn't call me, he didn't wish me. If some serious illness has befallen us, God forbid, nobody wishes that such a situation. I'm just giving as an example. Would you be concerned that they didn't come and invite you for the wedding? You are so much concerned about getting back to health, isn't it? There are so many things you have to do with reference to your family, with reference to everything, your own body. You are not concerned. Now, that importance is not there. So, all unnecessary, frivolous things we give all the time in the world. So, therefore, he says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. This mati, our buddhi has become foolish. It needs to be resurrected. What a fall was there, my countrymen, says Shakespeare. From what level to what level we have fallen. Swamiji has written this book called The Fall of the Human Intellect. The human intellect has deteriorated so much that people don't even understand what an intellect is. What is the intellect? What is the need for an intellect? How to strengthen that? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. People misunderstand intelligence to be intellect. So therefore he wrote that book, Fall of the Human Intellect. It's a very small book. With that book only the course starts nowadays in the academy, 3 years course. So He says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mooda Made. Our thoughts have become foolish. We are deluded at the thought level. See, our life's quality will depend upon our thoughts quality. Please understand this. As your thoughts, so your words. As your words, so your actions. As your actions, so your habits. As your habits, so your vasanas. Because what you continuously do becomes vasanas. And as your vasanas, as your life. So your life. You understand? So therefore, your life's quality is completely dependent on your thoughts. But today the thoughts have become so foolish. They are giving all importance to the non-essentials. Hardly anybody is even concerned about essentials of life. At the body level, at the mind level, at the intellect level, at the self level, spiritual core level, how do I relate with this world? What are my priorities? How can I change my life into a qualitative living? Who cares? Hardly anybody cares. Isn't it? If I don't have so much value attached to my life, then how do I expect somebody else to value my life? If I myself don't care for my life, how do you expect anybody else to give value to it? Therefore he says, Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrin karane. That sannihite kale, samprapte. Sannihita means when you go in front of Yama, sannihite kale. Kale means kala is Yama dharma. You understand? The one who controls time. Here in the context means Yama dharma. When you come in front of Yama dharma, samprapte, when such a situation happens, nahi rakshati dukrin karane. All the wealth that you have accumulated, is it going to come? All the contacts you have developed by becoming part of many different groups, is it going to help you? All the information you gathered in all these classes, per se, all the information is going to help you? So many classes, Swamiji, please tell Yama Dharma on my behalf that I have been attending classes very regularly. Is Yama Dharma going to listen? So the point is, the thing is, none of this is going to help you. So you got to ask yourself, what is it? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrin karane. The only thing that will become safety for you is Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja. Think of Govinda, think of Govinda, think of Govinda. Contemplate upon the realities. Be concerned about the truth. Always be focused on what is real, what is unreal. Only be identified with the essentials. Do not waste your time in non-essentials. So once you understand this, how do you have to relate with wealth? How do you have to relate with enjoyment? Because when we live in this world, wealth is necessary to some extent for transactional purpose. Even to come to this class, you need to have a laptop now. Right? Every now and then we have online class. You need an iPad or a phone or a laptop or something. Then you have to have a Wi-Fi at home for which you need to pay. Right? So money plays a role in life. You cannot therefore say money is not at all important. Are you with me? So therefore, you have to earn money. But then, how do you contact money? Similarly, you will also contact the world with your senses and enjoy. So how to enjoy? That he discusses in the next two slokas. But unfortunately, what has happened, instead of understanding these things as a means to an end, some people have taken it to be the end in itself. Some, when I say many come under that some word. Their only goal in life is acquisition, enjoyment. Uske alawa kuch nahi. This in Sanskrit is called as Kanchana and Kamini. As though Kanchana and Kamini is the end all and be all of life. As though wealth and enjoyment is end all and be all of life, all of us are leading our life. Therefore, he talks about that, how he ridicules the attitude that wealth and enjoyment is end all and be all of life. He doesn't ridicule wealth. He doesn't ridicule enjoyment. Please understand this. Without understanding this correctly, people are criticizing Adi Shankaracharya. People are criticizing Bhaja Govindam. People are scared of coming to spirituality. People think, yeah, these fellows have nothing better to say. They'll keep on condemning the worldly contacts. Arey yaar, pagal hai. He will also not enjoy. He will not allow us also to enjoy. I don't want to study all this. When I have finished enjoying everything and I am 60, 70, I will contact. No. Adi Shankara is not like that. He is saying you should enjoy wealth. You should enjoy this world. But how to do that? You must place the right value. You understand? That he discusses in shloka number 2 and 3, especially with wealth and enjoyment. Let's get on to the next shloka.
मूढजहीहि धनागमतृष्णां कुरु सद्बुद्धिं मनसि वितृष्णाम् यल्लभसे निजकर्मोपातं वित्तं तेन विनोदय चित्तम्
Moodajahihi dana agama trishna. O fool, give up your thirst for aggrandizing wealth. What does he say? He doesn't say give up your wealth. He is very carefully wording. He says, O fool, O deluded person who is not able to think correctly, instead of giving up your wealth, you should contact it correctly. How? By giving up your thirst for aggrandizing wealth. That craving, dana agama trishnam, that trishnam means thirst, craving. I want it. No, that is called craving. That craving, as though life is just for that purpose. So he says, give up your thirst for aggrandizing wealth. Not only he says, you should give up the thirst for aggrandizing wealth, he tells you how it is possible to give up thirst for aggrandizing wealth. It's all very easy to say. Very simple. Just drop your attachments. Asan se very easy to say that. But kaisa karna? वो भी बोलना चाहिए ना. Simply saying drop it, as if I don't know. You ask people who are all addicted to many things. Some people are addicted to gossiping. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Some people are addicted to drugs. Some people are addicted to TV serials. This TV serial addiction is such a big problem because it comes at a particular time. Now, if you happen to go to their house at that time, my God, may God be with you. You understand? They don't know what to do. You've come at this time, whether to spend time with you or watch TV, or they may also make you also watch that. So, addiction. It's all very easy to say, what is the big deal? Just drop it. कैसे drop करेंगे भाई? बोलना आसान है ना? So how do you drop it? So he says, please understand the principle of attachment is by getting attached to the higher, you become detached from the lower. It is not possible to be detached from the lower without getting attached to the higher. ये आपका मन में लिखना पड़ेगा. It is impossible to drop the lower without getting attached to the higher. See, the mother, when supposing she as a child which needs to be all the time taken care of, but at the same time she's a homemaker, she has a lot of responsibilities at home, and they are not that well off to take care of the child. They cannot have somebody else to take care of the child. So she has to do everything. But the child wants to be all the time with the mother. So how, if she has to go and do cooking or something, what she'll do? The mother will nicely bring some toy, some helicopter, something she'll bring, and they will show that toy to the child, and the child gets excited, And then the child's attention gets distracted towards the toy. Then the mother goes to the kitchen and starts cooking. But from there she'll be having a little bit of a look at the child, so the child doesn't do anything, anything wrong. So therefore, when you give something to the child which is more attractive, the child drops the other. This is how the mind functions. See, please understand this. Mind has to have something for it to be comfortable. Okay? That comfort zone से उसको आप बाहर नहीं निकाल सकते. अगर आप उसको कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर निकलेंगे और कुछ ना कुछ जो उसको कंफर्ट देंगे वो देना पड़ेगा. So he says, create in your mind the thought of reality. Muda jahihi dana agama trishtam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishna. He says, kuru sadbuddhi. You got to create thought of reality, sadbuddhi. Thoughts of reality. In your buddhi, you have to slowly induce the thought of reality. When you start tasting the higher, thereafter your mind is not interested in the lower. Now, when you replace the mind with some other attachment, it is still delving in the worldly level only, so it's not become secure by itself. But when you give something higher, what happens is it will become completely free from the lower. Mind starts becoming independent also. That is why instead of just replacing the mind with some other toy from the very world itself, you got to give something superior. Are you with me? Something far subtler. Something that makes the mind and the ego more expansive, more independent. Today what is happening? The ego is so solid and it wants more and more to be comfortable. So when you keep on creating the sadbuddhi, then the ego starts becoming less and less powerful. It will be replaced with the thoughts of reality. So instead of the thirst for wealth, you got to create the thoughts of reality in the mind. How do you do that? Which is what we are doing. Okay. Now, till that time you are creating the thoughts for reality, you also need something to survive, no? Some money to survive. So you got to earn. You got to work. You have not become a sannyasi where you need very, very little so that you can give up your job and everything. So you will be in touch with the earning money part. You will be contacting. How do you do? He says, whatever fruit you may gain from your action, content your mind with that wealth obtained. Whatever fruit of action you gain, content your mind with that wealth obtained. Yallabase nija karma upatam. What is nija karma? What is nija karma? Nija karma is dharmik karma. Nija karma is swadharmik karma. When you say nija karma means dharmik karma, swadharmik karma. If you are a brahmana, you have certain duties. If you are a kshatriya, you have certain duties. If you are a vaishya, you have certain duties. If you are a shudra, you have certain duties. If you are a son, you have certain duties. If you are a mother, you have certain duties. If you are a citizen, you have certain duties. So depending upon all these factors, you have duties. So by fulfilling your duties, whatever you got to do in that field, you do that. And whatever comes as a result of doing such an action, that is the wealth that you have earned from your own efforts. And when we say Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all these are determined by your gunas. They are not determined by birth. So your goal decides your duty. Your nature decides your duty. Your situation in life decides your duty. You understand? The areas of gratitude decides your obligation. All these are factors that determine your obligation. So whatever fruit of action you gain, content your mind with that wealth. What kind of action? Nija karma upatam. Own action obtained through your nija karma, that is done with obligation, that is done with dharma. Content your mind with that wealth obtained. He says, vittam tena vinodaya chittam. You got to content your mind with that wealth. So you got to allow your mind to understand that whatever I get after having performed my obligatory duty, that alone I need to satisfy my mind with, and with that money I will set my life. Then your mind will not run here and there. See, in short, what you need to understand is, when does the mind mind goes through modifications? When you allow it to function propelled by the desire. Mind takes different modifications when you allow the mind to function purely propelled by desire. But when the intellect comes in between and directs you towards the higher goal, then the mind becomes what? Contented. Are you with me? Without goal direction, you allow the mind becomes discontented. Jitna bhi denge, not enough. But when you've given a higher purpose to the mind, then it gets contented with the wealth that you have obtained. So therefore what he is trying to say is, nija karma. Work in life. See, in short what he is saying is, don't yearn for your wealth, earn your wealth. Instead of Y-E-A-R-N, you must have E-A-R-N. Y को हटाना. Y को हटाना शांति के लिए. Why Shanti? Only in the Shanti mind you can think clearly. Only if you can think clearly, you can be doing correct actions. So you write it like this. Instead of Y-E-A-R-N for wealth, you should have E-A-R-N for wealth. Earn your wealth. Don't earn for wealth. All the time earning. This is not enough, that is not enough, this is not enough. So in short, after contributing, whatever comes, you accept as prasad. This is called karma yoga. This is called action that is done with arpana bhav and accepting the result with prasada bhav. When you have this arpana bhav and prasada bhav, that is called karma yoga. समझ गया? So therefore he says, Muda jahihi dana agama trishnam. This attachment to wealth is the problem. Wealth is not the problem. Attachment to wealth is the problem. All the time. See, the mind has nothing better to think of. Idle mind is a devil's workshop. It has nothing better to think of. So what does it do? It keeps on thinking about wealth, enjoyment. Wealth, enjoyment. Wealth, enjoyment. That's all. Nothing more. So such a mind, you need to start giving direction towards the reality. When you say reality, it is from the absolute point of view. From the relative point of view, something more permanent, something that will help you to get to that permanent aspect. Are you with me? So therefore, the goal should be contentment of mind, not yearning for wealth. And that comes through giving a higher direction. So Muda jahihi dana agama trishnam. Yellabase sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam yallabase nijakarma upatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. So see the step-by-step analysis beautifully he gives. First of all, he says, oh fool. Why you are a fool? Because you are attached to wealth. And what is wealth? What is wealth? Even this shall pass away. You remember that poem? Even this shall pass away. Wealth is transient. Everything is transient. Relationship is transient. In short, instead of attachment to things that are transient, be attached to things that are permanent. You understand? Get to the reason, get to the cause and be attached to that. Don't be attached to the things that come and go in life. Create in the mind the thought of reality. Because the thought of reality, when you create, what happens is it gives you freedom, it gives you independence. When you create thought of the worldly objects, it binds you more and more. So choice is yours. If you want bondage, you keep creating thoughts of the world. See, when you create thought of impermanent factor, the thing in itself is impermanent. So how can it give you freedom? Do you understand? Why should I think of thoughts of reality? Because thoughts of reality will give me independence. Whereas thoughts of the world will give me dependence. Can you, by accumulating more and more impermanent factor, feel secure? Is it possible? Because you know very well that it is impermanent. Yes or no? After demonetization, no, you don't know when they will say 2000 rupees को भी demonetize कर रहा हूँ, 500 को भी demonetize कर रहा हूँ. So you do not want to keep it, no? You are better off by passing it on. So by understanding that things that are impermanent, they being impermanent essentially cannot give me that independence of freedom that I am looking for through the wealth. When I am attached to the wealth, what am I really looking for in that wealth? What am I really looking for? See, in many years ago, when I used to teach in Middle East, so one of my class members' family, they had traveled to South Africa for vacation. And after they came back, as soon as they came home, they called me, said they have to come and meet me and discuss with me, and they were in a deep shock and very, very grateful to God also. So they said, sir, we want to come and meet you immediately. So luckily I was free that day. I said, please do come. So they came. And they said, when they landed in Johannesburg and they took a taxi to their friend's house, on the way, their car was stopped by gunmen and then they were attacked. Everything was taken away from them, including the passport, everything. And they were left alive. Apparently, other people told, usually they kill because you may show them, identify them, So therefore, you are lucky. Then they somehow got to their friend's house and then they contacted the embassy, they got the passport and they came back. So why I am saying all this is, these are things that will be taken away. And they were ready to give. Whatever they had, they were ready to give. Why? What is more precious? What is more precious? Is life more precious or wealth more precious? If you have life, you can earn it back. Isn't it? If you did not have life, how to earn it back? So therefore he says, you got to think in this angle and then create thoughts of such permanent aspects in life. Are you with me? So therefore he says, create in your mind the thought of reality instead of thirst. Whatever fruit you get from your action, which is nija karma, obligatory, dharmic, you must do that. And you should not do it for wealth's sake. In short, what he's saying is your wealth should be a byproduct. It should not be your main goal. Wealth should be a byproduct. You should live a life in such a way that you are not accumulating wealth, but whatever wealth you have should be a spillover. Do you understand the difference between accumulated wealth and spillover wealth? Yes or no? What is the difference? What is the difference between accumulated wealth and spillover wealth? Your fixed deposits should not be accumulated wealth. Your fixed deposit should not be accumulated wealth. It should be spillover wealth. What is this spillover? What is spillover? What happened to Viniti? Are you there? You just switched off your video or you are switched off everything? What is spillover and what is aggrandizing? What is the difference?
No idea, Guruji. What is the difference?
See, aggrandizing wealth.
Okay.
Aggrandizing wealth means you are only there to keep on accumulating more and more and more wealth. Spillover is you lead a life of high thought and simple living. Okay, when your life is based on this one-liner, which is simple living with high thoughts, then your needs are very minimum. You understand in the Vedanta treatise, in the very beginning, in the very first chapter, Swamiji says, as you spiritually evolve, your needs reduce. If you are 75% developed spiritually, what you need is only 25%. Isn't it? If you keep on creating thought of reality, okay, unnecessarily you don't need many things. I remember that lady is still attending my classes. She is also from a very, very well-off family. Very nice lady. And she's been associated with our classes since the time I came, 2005. So now it's 19 years. So initially, since she's from a very, very well-off family, she has so many people doing work at home. And she's not working. And family business is going on fine. She doesn't know what to do. So, and she likes watching movies. So she said, sir, I look forward for Fridays to see what all movies are releasing. And almost every movie I watch in theatres. You know. Now, she says, now also she might watch movies once in a while when she's told that this movie is good, you know, especially if you watch it in theatre, it's even better. Then she'll go and watch. But now that craving for watching the movie is not there. So much time, money, everything saved. Not that she wanted to save. Are you getting it? That kind of money that gets saved is called spillover. Spillover. When you lead a life not keeping saving as your goal. Are you getting this difference? Saving, if you keep, means what? All the time you are thinking about future. But when you think of service, not savings, replace the word saving with service. Or replace the word SAVE with SEVA. समझ गया ना? Replace the word SAVE with SEVA. Are you with me? So when you are doing seva, you are doing nija karma. Seva doesn't mean you have to go to some village and dig a well for them or this or that. Whatever you are doing, do that as a seva to Bhagavan. ये सब हमको भगवान ने दिया ना. हाँ. You remember when we studied Tattvabodha, there he said, these faculties, the subtle body and the gross body, we got from what as human beings? Punya karma. As per our punya, the Ishvara has given us this body. So what do we have to do? We have to serve. It's called Nija karma. You are keeping the thoughts on higher. When your thoughts are on the higher, when you get established in the higher, your needs become lower and lower, lesser and lesser. Are you with me? See, okay, thirst for aggrandizing wealth. Example I am giving. I must have a 10-bedroom house. And I must have in this locality only. I must have this kind of cars. A Rolls Royce or a Mercedes Benz or this only. This is called thirst. Working for that. Okay. Other is, you fix a higher goal. Therefore, for that higher goal, you are starting an industry. You are serving that through that industry, you are doing your work. So, slowly, the profit potential is coming. Okay. From that, since there is, as you start progressing more and more, you need to think and do your work in a much better way to serve more and more people. You may deserve air-conditioned room, you may deserve a certain comfort to have a driver. All these things now become a byproduct. All these things become a spillover. You are not working for it. You still may have it. Are you getting it? You see the difference? So therefore, aggrandizing means keeping the goal of earning money itself as primary. Whereas spillover means you are working for a larger purpose. As a result, your needs are very minimum. Therefore, there is a lot of spillover. A lot of spillover.
Guruji, the word is spillover. S-P-I-L-L.
Yeah, spillover. When there is too much, then it spills over, na? So when your desires are less, when your assets are more than your desire, what is left over is called spillover. So you are not living to save money. See, this is a completely different thing. You go to the financial lectures, they give something else. They say, start 5 accounts. One account for saving, one account for spending, one account for charity. You understand? Like that. Now in Vedanta, what we say is, we say that there should be no thinking of saving. When we say don't think of saving, we don't mean that there won't be any savings in your account. In fact, when you replace the word save with seva, in fact, there will be a lot more in your life. There will be a lot more in your life. So this is the point that we need to understand. What Bhaja Govindam is teaching here. O fool, give up your thirst for aggrandizing wealth. Create in your mind the thought of reality. Instead of the thirst, whatever fruit of action you gain, content your mind with that wealth obtained. So then you content your mind because the desires are far and few. And then you content that, nothing wrong, because it's earned from Nija Karma. You understand? It's a sampadhyam that has come out of Nija Karma through dharmic way of functioning. And then with that you keep fulfilling. Then what happens is, inside you are becoming more and more rich. Are you with me? This is called a life of spiritual living. In this, obviously there may be things in your account, but that is not which was aggrandized with an attitude of saving. It was all saved out of seva. If at all you want to say saving. You get the difference between aggrandizing and spillover? Between saving and spillover? See, this is how we need to live. So then, when you go to sleep, there is no thought of money in your head. There is nothing in your head. Even service is not there. If you go deeply analyze, even service is not there. Why? Because you understand that you are not the only one to serve. Without you, the world will go for a toss. No, nothing like that. So when you get up in the morning, you say, thank God you've given me another opportunity, another day to live in this life to serve. I'll serve. You understand? So there is neither attachment to wealth nor attachment to ego. So then what? This tremendous peace. This is why he says, create in your mind the thought of reality. See, the things that we get attached to in life should elevate our life. The friends that we have in our life should be helping us to evolve. Whatever things that we are accumulating in life also should help us to evolve. At least they should make sure that they don't help us to devolve. Not help. They don't destroy us to devolve. So that's why he says, create in the mind the thought of reality. In any relationship, when you feel that you are being possessed, you would first of all resent it, isn't it? First of all, you will resent it. Because we are not an object for us to be possessed by somebody. You understand? Similarly, if you possess somebody, they will feel the same thing. So therefore, he says, you create the thoughts of reality. Because when you create the thoughts of reality, it gives you freedom. We should be moving towards freedom. The goal of life is to attain freedom. And that is only going to come through higher attachments. Only through higher attachment you become free from the lower. There is no other way you are going to get freedom. That's why he says, Nija karma upatam. Fix the goal and serve that goal, then you are working dharmically. See, dharma means what? Dharma means, the opposite of dharma is kama. Nija karma is dharmic karma. What is the opposite of it? Working for your kama. Working for your desires. Are you with me? So when you are working for your desires, there is selfishness. And when you are going to approach work as a taker with selfishness, you are going to be leading a life of a beggar. Think about it. It's a very beautiful way of putting it. Adi Shankaracharya says, you've got to give up the thirst for aggrandizing wealth. How you can do that? By creating the thought of reality, by creating the thought of higher. So therefore, this life is an opportunity for us to create the thoughts of reality. We are more concerned about what we have picked up and kept in our house. We are more concerned about what goes into our body, but we are not at all concerned about what we are picking up at the thought level. When we go to sleep, we need to ask ourselves, how much of the thoughts of reality has gone into me today? You understand? See, we all go to spend quality time with our children to have dinner together in the restaurants. But then having gone to the restaurants to have dinner together, each one is on their phone, mobile phone. Either they are playing some games or they're talking on the phone to somebody, messaging, checking their emails. Are they spending quality time? It's Similarly, if you are living in life, end of the day, you got to check how much thought of reality have I created today. Was my day spent fruitfully? If it has been spent fruitfully, then I would have created a lot of good thoughts.
Guruji, can you give us some examples of thoughts of reality?
What is reality? Ishvara, the divinity. That alone is real. So thoughts of reality from all different angles. This is the divinity that has created this universe. This universe has come out of the divinity. It's the divinity that has come in the form of this universe, which has given me this opportunity to serve. So this is called thoughts of reality. Thoughts of reality means higher thoughts. What this country has done for me. You should not think, what can I do for my country? That is higher thought. What this family has done for me. Don't think like that. What can I do to this family? Are you with me?
Yes.
So this is called thoughts of reality. This is called thoughts of higher. All these are higher thoughts. I've got educated in this world. So many people have given their sweat and toil for my education. So it's time for me to repay. That's a higher thought. When you're thinking like that, you're thinking of Bhagavan, because you are serving Bhagavan in different forms. Are you with me? That's called thought of reality. The Atma. When you go deeply, thought of reality means Atma, the self. What is the substratum behind everything? That is called thought of reality. That is the main thing, no? That's the main cheese. Bina substratum, what is the point? Can you paint if there is no chart? There is no that white paper. Can you paint? So, per se, if you see, the senses are insentient because they are made up of 5 elements. Your eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, they are all made up of 5 elements only, na? They are per se insentient. But through the eyes you are seeing, through the ears you are hearing. Like that all your senses are helping you to enjoy this world. So who's made these senses which are per se insentient become sentient? When you think like that, then you are not thinking in terms of only enjoying what you are seeing. You are now shifting the attention from the object that you are seeing to that which is making you see. Isn't it? When I am seeing something, I am seeing an object, my mind is going, Acha, ye bahut acha hai, I want it. But creating thought of reality means, agar I am able to see this, how am I seeing this? What is helping me to see this? Eyes are able to see because of the mind. And mind is able to help the eye see because of the consciousness enlivening the mind. Therefore, I have shifted my attention from the object that I see to the subject that is making me see.
Which is the universal consciousness.
Exactly. Similarly, when I am thinking of, when I have desire and I want to enjoy this world, right, who all have contributed for my survival? My parents have contributed. This society has contributed for my survival. Because I am surviving, I am saying I want to enjoy, no? But my very survival was possible because my mother took care of me, my father took care of me, my brothers and sisters took care of me, my friends took care of me, my society took care of me. So many people are contributing for my survival. So, do I not have an obligation to take care of my society, my family, my friends? The education institute that gave me this knowledge, don't I have an obligation to that education institute? Don't I have an obligation to my siblings? So when I start thinking like that, they are thoughts of reality from a relative point of view. So with that thought, my desire to go, run and crave and get it gets controlled. Then I think, okay, focus. Then my mind is able to focus. I'm able to do correct action. When I do right action, my profit potential increases. And when my profit potential increases, and my mind was also controlled, my needs are less. With that profit that I got, my needs being very little, having that taken care of from the wealth I earned, there will be a lot of spillover. This is what in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Sattvic person eats the remnants of sacrifice. Rajasic person eats the agitation that comes out of selfishness, selfish action. Tamasic person eats without producing. He goes and eats somebody else's earning. You work and keep it, the fellow comes and swindles it. That is tamasic fellow. Are you with me? So therefore he says, create in your mind the thought of reality instead of the thirst. Because end of the day, why you want the wealth for? For what? Freedom. If your freedom is going to be, will you pay for your bondage? Okay, 1 lakh rupees ticket for you to be bound for 1 hour. People are coming in thousands and subscribing for it. Have you seen that? No, no. But actually you are doing it. You don't understand that. Actually you are doing it. Do you pay for your YouTube? YouTube watching? Huh?
So all the channels we pay for.
You're paying for all the channels. YouTube you're paying.
Yeah, Netflix also.
Netflix, no, YouTube.
Yeah, otherwise there are ads. So we are paying.
You are paying with your time.
Yeah.
You're not paying with your money.
Yeah.
You're paying with your time. But what you're not understanding is, it is binding you. You are having a withdrawal syndrome if your phone is missing. When you wake up in the morning, supposing the phone is not next to your bed, which you kept it in the bed next to your bed and slept. When you woke up, first thing you see, phone is not there. Heart attack. Subah. Why? What is happening? You are paying to get bound today. All that Adi Shankara is saying is, now think carefully how to work to become free. So he says, if you work in the Nija Karma, you will become free. Nija Karma is working for Dharma. Opposite of that is working for Kama. You have a choice. You have a choice to go on fulfilling your desires, or you have a choice to go on contributing towards your obligatory duties. But when you do towards your obligatory duties, you become more and more free. But when you are doing actions towards the desires, you become more and more bound. Samajh rahe na? But the problem is, bondage is looking to you like a freedom today. That is why he says you are a fool. A fool only doesn't know what is real bondage, what is freedom. See, why does he address you as a fool? You should know that, no? No, sir, he is correct. I am a fool. But why are you a fool? Because you are understanding bondage as freedom. So, therefore, you are creating thoughts of aggrandizing wealth. But if you really know what is freedom, instead of creating thoughts of aggrandizing wealth, you will be creating thought of reality. That's what he's saying. a beautiful, beautiful shloka, So therefore he says, instead of wasting your time creating all the frivolous things, create the precious thought of reality, which will give you freedom. Whatever fruit of action you gain. So there will be, when you do Nija Karma, there will be a fruit of action. It will come. For every action there is a fruit. But
Guruji?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt in between. I need to just get up for 10 minutes.
Yeah, in fact, I will be concluding also. Whenever we do online class, it's 1 hour. So I'll just conclude in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So therefore, this shloka, if you really understand, you will understand what is freedom. Why is he addressing us as fool? Because we are thinking bondage to be freedom, he is addressing us as fool. If you really understand what is bondage, what is freedom, you won't be wasting your time in going behind your desires. You'll be going towards what is dharma. See, for example, if you are driving a car, when will you be called as a fool? When you are following the rules while driving, will you be called a fool? Or if you are not following the rules, will you be called as a fool? You say, I don't care about the red signals. I will go in red. Will they call you as a fool or not? Obviously. Why? Because you are putting your life in danger. But when you are following the rules, you will be called as wise. Why? Because you are putting your life in safety. Simple. So therefore, when you are giving yourself to aggrandizing wealth and thoughts of creating this wealth all the time, that craving, you are putting yourself in bondage. You are making your mind become more and more weak. You are not putting yourself in a strong position. Therefore, he is addressing us as fool. Let's conclude now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana va Prakriti Swabhavat Karomi Adhyad Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarpayami.